In 1948, December 10th, the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights became an official document of great importance. John Humphrey from New Brunswick wrote first draft of what has now become the most important document on human rights in history. The way people lived and viewed other people began to change drastically as it was enforced because the Declaration of Human Rights was proclaimed. People had to begin to view those who used to be considered minorities as equals. Minorities included women, children, gay, black, Aboriginal, poor, a specific religion, or disabled. People in Canada began to grow different perspectives, understanding, and knowledge of how all people are to be treated. This Declaration of Human Rights being proclaimed was a breakthrough for minorities and positive as their treatment improved, but was negative for those who were not considered a minority because it would mean they were lacking in their power. Some people continued to believe what they wanted to believe. Some people were not in agreement with all of the rights and didn't accept or agree with the changes. Although minorities were given rights, they were not necessarily still treated equally, as racism and discrimination were still existent. For example, abuse against women and children still occurred. Change was hard for some people, as people had a habit or a tradition or an opinion on a specific race that they continued to think about, but the Declaration of Human Rights almost disobeyed them from thinking that. This continuity and change affected us today drastically. For example, even though the Declaration of Human Rights was proclaimed, racism and abuse and discrimination was and still are existent. People today are now very educated on human rights, and this huge leap for Canadians was of great importance, and even gave December 10th a Human Rights Day. This declaration had positive and negative outcomes for citizens. It was positive in the long run because of how far we have come with our understanding on the importance of human rights, but it was negative in a way because it did cause some people to be angry over the changes and the outcome of human rights, and it causes conflict. Socially, it inspired us today to be kind and accepting of all walks of life and make people aware that racism is not okay. More and more young people today are being educated and gaining knowledge on why human rights and following human rights is beneficial for our country. Economically, this changed things for employers who had to treat everyone equally, including labor and pay, and maybe even employ those who they wouldn't have normally employed. It also changed what money was spent on, with new people being able to be employed and gaining more money due to laws. Politically, it changed the whole perspective on right and wrong, which impacts us today greatly on our views and impacted the educational system even today, and I can make a personal connection with this in what I learned in my history class.